So today is kind of a special episode for me, at least. We're gonna go and do a Q&A. And I think likely this will mostly be soft-spoken. But before I start, I'd like to say thank you for requesting this. I'm flattered that you're interested in knowing more about me. And I'm just so, I'm so honored that you would send me such amazing questions. I really, really like the questions you sent me. So let's get started. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. Okay, and just also, I don't think I'll get to all of the questions, but I really appreciate every single one. If I don't get to it, it's not that it's not a good question, it's because it's time for me to have a video. Okay, so we're gonna start with this first question. What first got you into ASMR? This is such a good first question. I think I first heard the term ASMR when I was in middle school, maybe. And I knew that it was like this thing that surprised me and made me like wonder, like, oh my goodness, there are people just like making podcasts and videos that are all like whispering and tapping. And I was first interested in it from a purely like intellectual place, because I was like, wow, this is a movement to make content that's not necessarily entertaining but relaxing. And I just was really stunned by it and intrigued. But I think I didn't remember what it was called for a long time. And then, leading into the next question, I eventually found gentle whispering, Maria, and that just started it all. So the next question is, what other ASMR do you watch / subscribe to? A lot. I listen and watch and all the things all the time. To name a few people who got me started: Maria, gentle whispering; Caroline ASMR; GB; let's see, Sleepyhead, Latte, Bakery, ASMR Bakery. And then as I got deeper into the community and such, I found Goodnight Moon and Marno. I love Marno's. Goodnight Moon is, I named them in the same sentence because they're an incredible couple. But Goodnight Moon, her creativity and her imagination just blow me away. Make me feel really cozy. And Marno, what got me into Marno was just his unexpected ASMR, which was so charming because, there's this anticipation. What's the sound gonna be? And then it comes and there's no way to prepare for it, and that gives me such tingles. And I've also gotten into Tina ASMR and Batala, and I love It's Blitz. I love Nefertiti ASMR, and Nefertiti ASMR has given me a lot of tingles recently. And then I'm also going into unintentional ASMR and lo-fi ASMR recently. Yeah, I've been really enjoying that. Okay, what tattoos do you have? Can you show them? What's their meaning? I think I'm gonna do a tattoo specific video at some point, because I do have tattoos, but they're in kind of secret places, behind my ear and on my ankle. It's a little bit difficult to show on a video, so I will find a way to do that. So TBD. Oh gosh, what are your favorite movies? That's a hard one. I have so many favorite movies. I'm sorry if you can hear my phone going off. I'm getting all the notifications right now, but it's okay. It's ambient noise. I 101 Dalmatians and The Wizard of Oz defined my childhood. Totally, like, turned me on to movies, you know. And then I'd say, around 6 years old, Pirates of the Caribbean became part of my life, which I realize might be a little young, but I was into it. And I was obsessed for years. And I was a pirate, like I was a little pirate. That was just my thing. And then, like Harry Potter, and finally, I've arrived. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was a big shift for me. Definitely changed my life in a lot of ways. But then some movies that just like one-off movies that make me feel really good and nostalgic, like Amelie and The King's Speech, funny enough. There's so many movies that I'm just like completely in love with. Recently, BlacKkKlansman was really, really good. I thought the score to that movie was like unbelievable. But yeah, I love movies, so I can't really choose very well. What color socks do you currently wear? I'm not wearing any socks. But I wear a lot of Smartwool socks. Matching. I don't know why. I'm not against mixing it up, but I just don't do it. And I think my favorite pair of socks right now are a pair of red, black, and gray socks that my friend gave me. And they have little black silhouettes of bats. And I've loved bats for my whole life. But it's specifically a piece of merchandise from a caving convention that we went to, and it was the first time I went to it. So he was kind of like saying welcome and gave me those socks, and they are so warm. And I live in cold places for most of the year, so I love them deeply. Am I a video gamer? And if so, what do I play? So at one point I would have answered this question, yes, I'm a gamer. Recently, within the last 5-7 years, I just do not have time for it with school and, everything. Yeah, rehearsal, yada yada yada. But when I was 10 years old, I discovered, drumroll please, Wizard 101. I know, kind of like silly answer, but I loved it, and it totally like changed my sense of self. Like I was really, really moved by it and completely immersed for like 3 years. And teenage years tend to be hard anyway, but for me, I definitely like went deep into myself and spent a lot of time alone, which was very important to me and for me. And I just played Wizard 101 non-stop, so I love that game. And it also helped me like branch out to other things and got me really into game design and wanting to be a game designer from an artistic perspective, so like drawing or voiceovers. And I would love someday, when I have more time, maybe on break, to just get into that world again, because that's just, there's nothing like it, just to be totally immersed in a game. It's like, wow. Okay, this next question is really hard for me. What types of music do you listen to and that you like? Oh my god. So, I am a joint theater music major. I spend every day thinking about music and why I like something, what I like, what qualities are important to me. And I listen to so much. I really listen to a lot of music. A lot of it is experimental, a lot of it is very ambient, instrumental, but I also love Tash Sultana. Spotify 2020 rap just came out, and I have been listening to a lot of Tash Sultana, which is they're like one of my all-time favorite artists of all time. Bam. I can't say it enough. I will follow them to the ends of the earth. Matt Corby, another Australian artist. Measure, who is an electronic synthesizer artist. I've gotten really into synthesizer music. Oh my god. The Dead Tongues, which is a little more folky, which I'm a folk musician, so and all-time folk is really important to me. But the Dead Tongues is like, it's a good in-between. And Rat-a-Tat, which is an instrumental group, and their music is so groovy, but I love so much, like I love the blues, and I love jazz, and I love opera, and I love musical theater, and I love old-time folk music, and just folk music in general, and I love, electronic music, and glam pop, and I mean, there's so many, like, genres within genres. I love music. Maybe that's the moral. That's the answer to this question, is I love music. Okay, we're gonna pivot a little bit again towards YouTube. This question is, what are your goals for your YouTube channel? Honestly, I am just making videos that I enjoy making and like the sounds, and this is very much an expression of my love for ASMR, and my goals are really just to continue having ideas that excite me, and if they excite other people, that's great, but it's like not the point. Some people get on YouTube and they want to get big and want to make a lot of content that people like. That's not the driving factor for me. I want to connect through ASMR in a very genuine way, and I'm doing that even with like the small following that I have right now. You guys freaking rock, and I'm really pleased. So it's just whatever happens. What are some of the TV shows that you like? I have not had a lot of time for TV recently, but in the past I've been a total Doctor Who fan, a total Sherlock fan, Game of Thrones, and I think something happened because I clearly needed TV shows that would relax me, and so I've been watching Chef's Table a lot. I love Chef's Table. Chef's Table has gotten me through a lot, actually, and Abstract the Art of Design, so like these beautiful documentary type TV shows that that when you tune in, you're just gonna be met with beauty and wonder and creativity. I find that to be so appealing. But then there's also my partner and I, we like our silly shows like Bob's Burgers and Futurama. Like, I love those shows. They make me laugh so hard. And Rick and Morty. Oh my god, I love Rick and Morty. But then we recently binged Dark, the German Netflix original, and that show, like, that's what I remember loving about Doctor Who, like just getting totally immersed. Like, Dark just takes you on a whole journey. Oh, and I also love Twin Peaks. Just remembering. Okay, do you play any sports or like any sports teams? I'm not an athlete in a traditional sense. I think I'm a singer, and I think singers and theater makers are athletic in the sense that they go through a lot of the same rituals as, traditional athletes. Like, we warm up, we train, we practice, and if your body is out of whack, then your work is out of whack. But traditionally, no, I'm not really a sports person, but I love playing badminton. I love ping pong. And do I like any sports teams? My mom loves the Washington Nationals, so I guess I like the Washington Nationals. Okay, moving on. Did you ever get your wisdom teeth removed? No. I have these two babies still in there. I never had these guys, but the top two, I was supposed to get them removed last summer, and my surgeon canceled on me the day before the surgery. So I'm currently in the process of finding another surgeon. Okay, we're gonna pivot. This is a hard-hitting question. What is your biggest fear? Climate change. Climate change is very scary on every level. But I think personally, climate change, but also like my mom dying, my partner dying, typically in like a freak accident way. Okay, we'll leave that there. Do you play any musical instruments? I am a singer, and have been singing since I was 9 years old. Training, that is. And climber, banjo player. I've been doing that since I was 14. Excuse me, my stomach just like really expressed itself. I apologize. It's excited for lunch. And I just started working on piano because that's something I need to know for my field. Okay, this question cracks me up. What do you think is the safest way to rescue a big bear that's stuck in a tree? I have no idea. If it's a black bear, which, is a species of bear that's like characterized by its love of climbing, then I'd say leave it alone. It's got it figured out. But otherwise, I actually don't know. Yeah. What would be your dream career / job? The total dream would like be I'm an artist with a studio and collaborators, and we make work all the time, every day. While I think that can be a reality, it's really hard to achieve. We're in a society that values your ability to make money. So that is not so viable in that capitalist framework. So I think my way to compensate would be a professor, probably of theater, so that I can continue furthering my field of knowledge and honing my skills, but also have a space to make new things and connect with students and just be blown away all the time. Okay, if you could go anywhere on vacation, where would you go? That feels so relevant for right now because we're very much stuck. I'd probably go to Mont Blanc with my partner and hike and backpack there. That just is exactly where I want to be. Okay, how long have you been interested in art, and what first got you into art? And I mean this so seriously. Since I could move my fingers, I have been making work. Making little visual art things. And then at 5 years old, I discovered theater, and that was history. I mean, that's my big love. It's my soulmate. And then got into music, and then got into writing. So it's just my existence is as an artist. That's who I am. Oh, this question, who are your favorite artists? That's so hard, y'all. Why? That is such a hard question. I don't even know if I can answer that. I mean, if I'm thinking just from a visual perspective, I've been really into tattoo artists. I think maybe that's how I'll frame this. So I've been really into tattoo artists for the last 3 years or so. Stick Around Tattoo, Jess John, Dusty Limbs. These are all people on Instagram. There are so many people. Lindsay April. I mean, there are so many amazing artists. All the artists who worked on my body. And that's just tattoo artists. I mean, come on. Let me answer the question in another way as well. So, yesterday I spent most of my day, not most of my day, but a lot of my day, on Nova Mercury's fiber artworks. They're a fiber artist, and their works are just but I have to do more research, and can't get back to you on that question because I need to like come up with a list. Okay. What are some of your favorite books and authors? Dun, 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 dun. I prepared for this one. So, this is Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. And this is the only copy I have of the Lord of the Rings. I have many copies of The Hobbit and of the Silmarillion and some of his other works, but this is the only copy I have of Lord of the Rings because when he initially brought the piece to the publisher, he was like, this is one story. I want it to be published in a single tome. But the publisher, probably rightfully so, was like, bruv, there is no way anyone will buy a book that just came out about your made-up world and it's upward of 1,000 pages. There's no way. So we're going to separate them into 3 different books. And thus we got the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But I want to respect Tolkien's initial intuition to have it into one tome. So that's why I have that. Tolkien obviously answered to that question. But I also love Aaron Morgenstern. I'm so sorry, my stomach. It's like so hungry for lunch. We'll get through this. That's my signal. That's my cue to end this video soon. I love her new book, The Starless Sea, but I also love The Night Circus. Those are 2 books that completely took over my life when I read them. I love Barbara Hurd. I love Annie Dillard. I love Truman Capote. I'm looking at one of my bookshelves. I love so many different playwrights. It's absurd. Oh man. I mean, that's a really hard question because there's so much out there. I'm gonna keep going because I need to get lunch. That's so funny. Okay. Oh my god. We're gonna keep going. Let's go to what's your favorite thing about the holidays? At a certain point I probably would have said, like, presents. I probably would have said presents. But as I get older, coming home to warmth and a fireplace and delicious food and a blanket and a book and my partner and my dog and my mom, that's the meaning of the holidays. That's the love of the holidays and just being able to rest because my life is so busy, and when you get that break, there's nothing better. What's your shoe size, and is it different for sneakers and shoes? I have no idea. I am a 7.5 or an 8, typically an 8. Don't know how that changes with the shoe type. What is your favorite food? Strawberries. Chocolate. Dark chocolate specifically. Somewhere between 60% and 80%. But mostly strawberries. What are your thoughts on global warming? This is a very hard-hitting question. I was almost an environmental studies major with a focus in theater and music. So I hope that puts into perspective how seriously I think about climate change. Without getting too political, because I could easily go there, even though it's not even a political issue. It's more of a human and environmental, and if you love the world, then you're whatever. it's very frustrating for it to get complicated with politics, because it's like we need to act now, and I think politics just slows down the progress. But to purely remain on how I feel about it and not global warming at large, it makes me incredibly anxious. Dare I say depressed and angry and sad. And I know that's not the way, I want to close out this video, but that's the reality of it. And I'm here for you if you feel the same way. Okay, total pivot. What is your zodiac sign? I am a Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon, and Leo rising. If I was only Earth, I would be cuckoo banana crackers. Capricorns are like known for being like not neurotic, but very perfectionist. We tend to go into our minds and do all of this work in our own space and get really obsessed, and then when we think it's perfect, we then present it to the world. So it's like just craziness. It's a lot of too much thinking. And so I'm glad to have that Leo fire to balance it out. Balancing crazy with crazy. Okay. Do you believe in a higher power? I really appreciate the wording of this question. I think that when we consider different types of higher powers, we're often talking about very similar things. I have a belief in the universe energetically, and like when we pass on from this mortal vessel, I think we probably ascend to energetically becoming one again, into a consciousness, into a universe, into an energy. So it's like very briefly my thoughts on that. I wanted to end the video with the question: how do I find a peace of mind? Peace as in Peace. For me personally, I find a lot of my peace in quiet and a space where it's just me, having time to process things. I'm deeply introverted in a lot of ways, so I need time to process and think and dwell, and that is done in silence by myself, where I can work on various things and all that stuff. But then the flip side of it is I need to have collaborators. I need to have a space where I can connect with people through work. And so that the ultimate peace of mind is to have those two things in balance. Now, to talk about more generally, how does one find a peace of mind? That's a really hard question. I'm not a trained professional, clearly. I think seeking out people who are trained, who specialize in how our minds work and how trauma works and how mental obstacles work, I think that's huge. And also therapy, like everyone says it and it gets annoying to a certain extent, but it's true. Like therapy is so powerful, to be able to have a space where it's all about you and how you feel, and for you to rant, and then that person who's listening to you is unbiased in an ideal setting. I think that's amazing. And I think that's probably a huge thing of what we need, because so many of our emotions are put down deep and we don't get to express them, and then they manifest. And that leads me to my other point. So I don't believe that the mind is contained just here. I think the entire body contains the mind. So if your mind is stuck, the body can help. What that means, it could be different for different people. for me, it's, being active, nourishing my body with good food, with sleep. So I think the thesis of this is just taking care of yourself and realizing that it's all connected. Okay. Thank you so much for requesting this video, for asking those amazing questions. To each and every one of you who sent me questions, thank you. You're amazing, and I love you. And I love you all. Just anyway, I hope you're doing well. And if you're not, I'm here for you. Feel free to request a specific video. I may or may not get to it. But I want to be here for you in any way I can, and this channel is a great way to do that. So much love. I'm gonna go get some lunch, and see you all next time.